guys, welcome back to another video. We are here in Pennsylvania, my mom's home office. Shout out to my mom for letting me use her home office. Actually, it is 12:49 at night and I got a background of Phil on my phone. Felt like doing a video a little bit different than anything I've done before, kind of like a reaction style video. If you guys like these videos or videos of this style, comment down below because I think they're kind of cool to make. I watch a bunch of videos like this, so it'd be cool if you guys liked them, then I can possibly make more of them. But today what we're doing is we are talking about, I guess, what's actually going on during a pass from start to finish, from the time I pretty much get like in the car and start strapping up until I pull off on the top end. And I got actually the pass from Snowbirds. This was our third or fourth qualifying pass. We went 4:18 at 175 in the heat of the day, which is flying for hydraulic roller LS at LDR weight. We actually were overweight, weighing 2760. So I guess we'll get into it. I'll talk about it. I'll pause it. I got a couple different camera angles of in the car, one looking at me, one looking kind of out the window, and then a little bit of if you guys really pay attention, you can see the HOLLEY dash, but I know it's kind of going down track. It's kind of tough to look at, especially when you're sitting in the car. And of course I got the outside camera because the car, it just looks sick. So before we get started, I do want to just let everybody know my mom has all these picture frames around the house with no pictures, like the picture that comes when you buy it. And I don't want you guys to think I'm just saying that she's got one. I mean, these things are literally all over the place. So shout out, Mom. I'm just picking on you a little bit. Getting strapped in the car, really, for me, it's like no big deal. I try not to get in there early, especially down in Florida when it's hot as hell. So it's pretty simple, 5-point harness, you're wearing all gear, put your headset on, put your Hans on, put your helmet on. I do all that before I get into the car because I don't like being restricted or anything like that. Get in the car, get buckled up, and put your gloves on. Just made the change over to the 2-inch belts instead of the 3-inch. Love way better for any of you guys out there that are shopping around for belts, especially if you're gonna drive on the street. They're not like digging into your neck. So I'm just putting my gloves on. All the SFI 20 stuff, it's pretty heavy and restrictive, but you'll be glad you're wearing it. So here we were running LDR, so we were kind of 2 classes back. We ran like Pro Mod, Pro 275, and then LDR. So the lanes were pretty packed, unhooked from the push vehicle pretty far back, and we would push up. I'm pretty impatient to the point where I want to be able to see what's going on.
Yeah, I think if it pulls off, we'll be all right.
My confidence right there. If it pulls off. So pretty much what I'm saying there is if it pulls off, if it doesn't just dead spin off the start line, like no momentum, just lights the tires up, I think it'd go down. A lot of times when the track's hot, heat of the day, most places you're going to have issues is right on the start line. If you can get it to hook up, not spin the tire off the line, you'll be pretty good. Unless, the further out you go, more than likely it's more of like a suspension issue or chassis issue. So I'm pretty impatient. I like to push up as far as I can so I can see the track. I want to see the guys in front of me go and make a pass. So that's what we're doing here. A lot of waiting. It's a lot of preparation, a lot of waiting for a little bit of action. I think the car only runs for like 2.5 minutes.
All right.
All these cars have big kill switch on the back, kills all power to the battery. So generally that's off. You got to turn that on before they leave me. I can't do it from inside the car. And then I asked Logan, shoot's good, meaning CO2 parachutes armed, CO2 bottle on. Without that, wouldn't shift. Wouldn't have parachutes.
Hey, who am I running?
All right, I gotta stop here for a second. Generally, I'm a little bit more prepared than asking right on the water box who you're running. I think it's important to know who you're running. One, what type of car they have. If you're a turbo car, you're running against a nitrous or a blower car or a turbo car. You need to know who you're running against because that's going to really change like the staging strategy. Most times when you're running a turbo car versus turbo car, you guys are both going to try to bring it up in the chip similar times, unless they don't like you, you don't like them, someone's just being a dick and going to burn someone down. It happens. But generally that's what happens. A blower car or a nitrous car, you're generally going to have them stage first before a turbo car. It's just kind of how it works. It's easier for everybody if it goes that way. So right there I'm asking Logan, saying, hey, who are we running? Because I want to know what kind of setup this dude had got. I mean, am I going first, or are we going to both get up on the chip together? What do we got going on?
David Ryder.
Which one?
Like a O2 Camaro, twin turbo, big block.
Twin turbo big block. That was what I was looking for. All right, so turn the Holly on there. See you fiddling with the other switch. So I got 3 switches in the car and a button. One turns the Holly on. Then I got the starter next to that. The button next to that is the scavenge pump and the injectors. The car will not run without the injectors on and the scavenge pump on. I like having it set up like that so I can turn it on. I could see the dash. I could spin the motor over if I just gotta, prime the oil pump. I don't have an external primer on it, so in the mornings I'll go up there, put an oil pan heater on, turn the Holly on, crank it over, check oil pressure, stuff like that. And then when I want to fire it up, I'll flip the second switch. It's also helpful for me that I can't forget to turn the injectors on and the scavenge pump because the car won't run. The scavenge pump needs to be on. That's that noise that you guys will hear. A lot of people think that it is a fuel pump, but it is not a fuel pump. It is a mechanical fuel pump on the car. That noise that you hear is a scavenge pump that returns oil from the turbo back to the engine. There's the scavenge pump, there's the injectors. Got my thumb on the starter. Fires right up. Mechanical fuel pump methanol, that thing fires up amazing. So depending on the temperature of the car, let it either fire it right up and go in the water box, or if it's the first run of the day, I'll fire it up a little bit early and let it sit there, try to build up a little bit of heat. The car does have an oil pan heater, which is very convenient. All race cars sound like hell on the inside. They do not sound good. They're rattling, making noises. So right now I'm waiting to see up in front of me, Logan, Matt, or someone wave me on, tell me I'm good to go. I'll be looking for their hand signals, left, right. Waiting to see how far through the water box I get. Logan will give me the thumbs up, and then I'll roll into it. Love the roll burnouts. Don't everyone start doing it. Then you got to clear it out, of course. All right, I got to stop for a second here. When you're doing the roll and burnouts, if anyone's going to try it, okay, first of all, don't steal my thunder. Stevie Jackson's been doing the roll and burnouts forever. I'll take credit for doing the roll and burnouts in the turbo car. I think it's pretty fun. You're racing to have fun. It's more fun to do a burnout like that, I think, in my opinion. I've also noticed, we did some data research with Matt's car with the tire temp sensor. It's a little bit more consistent tire temp wise, so I'll keep doing them. I like it. I roll through the water box slow, drag the brake, roll into the gas. As soon as it cracks the tire, off the brake, pop it in high gear, and you're off to the races. So that right there is your quick little how to do a rolling burnout. Stay off the limiter though. That's rule number 1, stay off the limiter. Neutral, clear it out a little bit. Now, this transmission, you don't have to put it in reverse to back up, so I'll leave it neutral. Just grab the trans brake and I can start backing up. One less step for me. We usually have headsets, but my helmet mic's broken, so that sucks. So I'm out there looking at Logan's hand signals, left, right, stop. Reach up, arm boost controller, and you can see if you look closely, that number on the dash, you got RPMs on the right, that big number to the left is your dome pressure. I like that nice and big because if I don't have any dome pressure, it's not going to go fast. I'm not even going to make a pass. So it's 0 all the time, 0, -1, 1, 2, whatever. But when you turn that on, it goes through whatever boost ramp you got, whatever dome pressure you got, and then you'll hear the MAC valves start to bleed everything off, and it'll go back down. So for me, it's kind of like a check. If I flip that switch and it's got 0, I have no CO2, we got a problem. Whether we got 2 or 3 minutes to fix it, put another bottle in there, that's our warning. Instead of letting go of the button and you don't have any dome pressure, you don't have any boost, you're gonna run slow as hell. Pull the thing back in first, pull my straps tight, check the gloves. This is like, I check the gloves and check first gear like 10 million times. Just check the gloves, check first gear. I'm not gonna leave it in second. I can promise you that. Logan pulls me up. He gets me all set. They're leaving me about this far away from the beam, so you're not searching for the beams. You know you're close to them. Check first gear one last time. On the brake, shut the visor, hit the bump. Alright, so it happens pretty quick. There's a lot going on, especially when you are driving the thing. There's a lot going on. For me, a lot of it's feel. You click the button. If you get through the 60 foot, generally you're riding pretty good. If you make it past 100 feet, it's very unlikely for this car it's going to knock the tires off. So you're kind of on like high alert going through the 60 foot, a little bit less of high alert, but you're still ready for it to catch it if it does try to rattle the tires up to about 100 feet. After about 100 feet, you're going for the ride. Car drives really good. Shifter bangs, put your hand up on the parachute, throw the parachute, go through the traps, and you're in that mid to low 4 second range. Bump on the car is pretty good. I like it where you could feel it, where it doesn't just creep in. So one thing I want you guys to look at here, you can't really tell because my arm is in the way, but when you're bumping in, now this is how I've always done it. I'm on the brake and on the gas when I'm bumping in. And I don't know if you guys can see, if you watch my left knee, after I bump in, I come off the brake. So that's called dragging the brake. It's to really prevent rocking in the beams. You'll see some cars when they bump in, they'll surge forward and they'll start rocking back, and they'll surge forward and it'll start flickering the bulbs, and the car is unsettled, it's upset, just rocking back and forth. The white car, the Camaro, it has a line lock on the trans brake. So when you're on the brakes and you grab the trans brake, it's applying brake pressure to the front brake, so it doesn't do that. But I've just gotten used to doing it manually. So I apply brakes as I bump in, and once I'm in the bulbs, I'm off the brake, and it's really kind of like second nature at this point. I don't think about it. If you think about it, it sounds very difficult, but you do it once or twice, it works really good. I like to have the bump a little bit more aggressive where I could feel it. And, I shut my visor. I'm a mouth breather. I don't want to have it shut and fog up. So I'm on the brake. It starts banging the chip. I slam the visor shut, go right to the bump. I hit it, 2 or 3 times, up, right in, off the brake, and then you're ready to let go of the button. So you can barely see the button. Car goes pretty straight, bang the second gear, throw the chute. You gotta throw the chute early too, because it should take some time to come out. I'm used to doing that after racing at some short tracks now. I can't stand myself talking in the car. It's just so weird to me. God, it kills me. I was pretty charged up there. For that car to go 418 in the heat of the day, hydraulic roller, 98, overweight, suspension configuration in the rear, not ideal. We got something funky going on. I was super proud of everyone, the car, everyone involved. It was pretty badass. So here, let's go back for a second. All right, there's actually a lot to talk about. Like I could do like 4 or 5 videos on every single thing that happens. But you'll notice when you go through the traps, I reach up, I shut the car off, I just flip that big red switch, and then later, as we're rolling, once everything starts to slow down, I reach back up, turn the Holley back on, I turn the scavenge pump back on, I try to get any of that oil that is then draining from the turbo back into the engine. Just try to eliminate any oil building up in the exhaust side, then get into the exhaust, and then coming out on the car, anything like that. So go through the traps, put it in neutral, kill the car, charge it up, flip the Holley back on, flip the scavenge pump back on, and then kind of roll through. In the heat of the day, I'm all charged up. I generally don't. Just Bradenton's got a pretty long shutdown. It's one Stroud 430 shoot, stops car really good. Starting to get them strapped. Take the turn off kind of swiftly to try to get out of the way. There's a bunch of cars parked over there, I remember, so I wasn't where I wanted to be. So I get out the car like it's on fire, grab the parachutes, pull them back, throw them in the trunk, and make room for the next guy to come so he's got somewhere to park, and head back to the pit to cool it off. Alright guys, failed to film an outro. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, something a little bit different. If you guys like videos like this, please let me know, because there's so many things that we could do with these like kind of reaction style, in-depth style videos. But that's just a quick peek of, I guess, just the bare bones of what happens. I mean, there's so much stuff going on when you're making a pass. It's absolutely crazy when you sit down, look at the footage, and you're like, I remember this and this and all that stuff. So hopefully you guys see this video on Christmas Eve. Hope everybody has a great holidays, Merry Christmas, and stay warm. It's freezing up here in Pennsylvania. We'll see you guys in, I don't know if I'll have a video out tomorrow, but maybe the next day. Maybe I'll take a day off for Christmas, and the next day you guys can have a Christmas present from me, which is a free video on YouTube, John Doc channel. Go down, click that subscribe button. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Chrysler.